I was stuck. Man, you started. Okay. So I don't know what I'm going to teach you today, but let's start something. So let's say command prompt. As usual, we have D drive. In that we have something like React. What usually I do, I prefer, I type first second character, press tab, it automatically complete folder name, and that's the trick. Then say dir, here is our folders. So let's say npx create, I think npx or npm, I don't know, create react app, and then say app name, what I'm going to teach you today. Let's go for state app, and say done, press enter. Just give me 1 minute. Guys, if you know Angular, then you must aware the concept of observable. So it is not actually similar to the observable. Observable is responsible to check like mostly API response, JSON array, and all this stuff. But it's somehow like the observable. Observable always monitor actual one object. If you change it, automatically render this front end of our web down. Same thing here. What we have to do, we have to try same thing over here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one simple, very basic example, so everyone will understand what is mean by use state, what it mean by use effect. I'm not going to take use effect by today. We will take use effect maybe next week or after 6-7 days. It is completely different concept. I'm sorry guys, let me drink some water. I'm having some trouble. So perfect. So let's consider a scenario. Suppose we have two buttons. One is plus, one is minus, and uh, I have to display one number. If I click on plus button, means increment button, it will automatically increment that number by one and display in one div. This is one simple example we are going to perform. We will try the same thing with component with parameterized approach, and also we will take some other scenarios how it works. Uh, Yes, so you already know that here is command, here the way we start npm development environment. Let's hook into our folder cd state app. Awesome. Then say code dot, here is our project, and before changing, let me start my development environment. That's it. So inside folder, I started my folder in Visual Code, and then started my development environment. Here it goes. Awesome. So I don't think so we need W3 schools for today's session. I'm going to take this session very slowly because I don't want to like everyone should understand this concept. So I'm trying to explain it in a slow way. So as make it very simple. As usual, we don't like this app.css. I don't like this app.test as of now. But yes, I'm going to cover your testing part as well in the session and everything. So no worry. Lays also I'm going to cover. So here is your first file which is going to render. Then index jumps to the app, but here we already remove this index.css. Let's remove that line, save, and if you go to our browser, it is showing some error because we deleted logo.svg, but which is still available over here. So let's remove this stuff from here and also remove this part from here. No need to have this part. So this is very simple empty page. Refresh our page. There is nothing to display because I removed everything from here. So we have app and index. Awesome. So let's create one folder with name, either you http pub, whatever name you prefer. I prefer http pub, and inside I have a folder, let's say with name home. And sorry, my mistake is that, okay, let's keep it as it is. In that I'm going to create one file with name index.js. Awesome. I'm not going to create any CSS. I'm just going to explain you how it is going to work. So let's start what we decided a function. Oh my god. Then our component name is home. Don't go with this file name. I'm going to create component as a folder. So let's say home is my component in this way. And at the end, I'm going to say export default and my component name. Perfect. But what we decided yesterday, we are not going to use a classic approach. We are going to use ES6 approach. So let's say constant home is equal to empty bracket and in this way arrow and then my function start here. So both are same. So I'm going to remove this line and that's it. Both are same, guys. Okay. Then every component must return some kind of either HTML or null. So let's say return. Inside that, create a div. If you want to have class CSS, then just declare class names and apply that CSS. I don't want that as of now. So let's say I have two buttons, button and with name plus and and a button with second, let's say minus. There we have two buttons. But if you go to browser, nothing will be displayed because this home component, this file is not linked with app yet. So first thing that we are going to do is link this file, means home component, with our app.js. So let's go to our app.js and say, oh my god, say import home from where? I want to say from http pubs and home. So let's say home backslash. Perfect. And just go and refresh. So guys, you got something like that. I didn't mention file name over here slash index. I simply said home. Still it is showing that component. You know why? Because index is default file, index.js. So that's why what I did, I created a component name as a folder. So it is quite easy. In HTTP, my component is home, and by default index is my like it will point to index. That's it. So this is the new thing that you learn. Then let's say here I'm going to show some counter. So here in home, after that I'm going to add one line hr slash. Here we go. Awesome. So guys, let's create some design. Class name, let's say wrapper, and I want style. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more file with name style.css. Perfect. So this file is linked with this index. This style is related to this and its child components. So how you are going to import this? So let's say import in bracket say style.css and that's it. Perfect. But I can't resolve style.css. Oh, sorry. In current folder dot slash, and here we go. So let's try to apply some style. What is our style class? Wrapper. Let me say text align is equal to center. Perfect. So here we go. Our buttons is inside here. And let me say in wrapper, if there is a button, then apply padding from inside, let's say 5 pixel. Here is our buttons, and say top right 5 pixel and left right 12 pixel. Right 12. Let's add some margin. Let's say margin from all side. Let's say 3 pixel. Awesome, guys. We have two buttons, and that is perfect. So this, in short, this file is linked with this page. So I think you already know basic CSS properties, but don't worry. Even if you don't know, I'm going to cover most of the style properties in the React session. But let's start with small steps. So now we have buttons. Let's try to apply some kind of event on this button, right? So let's say on click. What you want event. So say e point to something. Let's say console.log. Hey, simple statement. So right click, inspect, and open your console over here, and click on your plus button. Here is your hey. Quite easy, right? So what I did, let me type this code one more time. So I said on click in bracket. This is the way we are going to find. So either you can write function over here, or you can call function, or you can simply inline way event. E is event in bracket. If you have only one line to say, then simply say console.log and say something. Hey, hello, and that's it. Hey, hello. But if you have multiple line, then open your curly braces. Inside that, you can write as much as stuff you can write over here, and that's it. So this is your function body in short. So this is the best approach. Let's try something different. Otherwise, you can write function here, function. Let's say step. Here is my function, and let's say console.log. Hi guys, hi. Simply say hi. And let's try on another button. Let's say on click, click, okay. Call that function step. Awesome. Leave it blank. Don't say like this. Okay, simply say step and refresh and say here is your high, here is your hello. So anyway, if you want this, that is fine. But guys, we decided we are not going to use a declaration in classic way. So let's change it to some other way. Constant, let's say step is equal to bracket, then bracket onto an arrow, and both lines are same. Remove this header, still it will work. Refresh. Here is your first button, here is your second button. Awesome, right? So either you can follow this step, or otherwise you can follow. If you have a small chunk of function body, just write it over there. But if you want to clean code, follow this approach. So let's say I want to call that step function here as well. No problem. Then both the button will, what I can say, both the button is going to point out the same function. Means function call is same. So let's try this. Even if I click this high, even if I click this high 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Awesome. So this is a cool example of event handling. I'm going to explain a few more examples. No problem. So problem here is that I want to show something over here. Let's say div class is equal to div, only say div. No need to mention class and everything, guys. And say count is equal to, and here I'm going to show some count. Let's create one variable here, count. And say declaration, say count is equal to 1. Every time when we are going to call this count, every time say count is equal to count plus 1 or count plus plus, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to print that count over here. And also I'm going to display that count over here in the bracket. So let's see how it works. So by default, count is 1, or let's say count is 0. Awesome. And refresh our page. If I click on plus 1, 2, 3, you can see here in console it is incrementing. After here also it is incrementing, but it is not showing on our browser down. And here is our problem. Why? Because it is still working. Yeah, it is working, but still it is not updating this variable. So this is the basic problem that we are getting. So let's try something. Let's do something different. So let me go to HTTP pub, create one more folder, and let's say display. As usual, as I said, here is my index.js file. I'm not going to create any style for this. Then say constant and display is equal to this, point out to say export default display, and it is parameterized component which is going to take count, and in return it is going to give us h3, and in that it is going to show the count. Okay, before that, let's say display count. Okay, perfect. So we have display component. Let's call this component inside our home. So as usual, you know that where is my home key? Okay, say import in bracket, say oh my god, display from and dot slash backslash. What happened? Why not double dot slash? Yes, display. No need to mention index. Awesome. Sorry. After that, say display, which is taking one parameter as a count, and say mention our count over here. Perfect, guys. So if you want to avoid this much stuff, simply say closing bracket like this and refresh our page. Oh my god, what happened? Expect string as a component, display is here, in that index is here, display count, and okay, bracket is constant, display in count, okay, I got it. I think problem is here. Okay, save this and now try this. I forget to save this file without the changes. It is still now. If you see, here is display, here is display. So plus minus, still it is not updating. So let's try to fix this function. What if I want to increment by 1 if I click here, and decrement by 1 if I click here? So I have to make it parameterized, right? So let's try to make it like if I pass 1 and if I plus minus 1. So it will plus 1, whatever parameter here we are passing number, it will automatically increment by that number. And let's try this approach. What will happen? I want to show you something. Okay, plus minus nothing is happening. You know why? This is not going to work logically. So what you can say, you can simply say e point to this, and then again say e point to this, event point to. There are few different few other approaches, but let's go simple way. So let's try this one more time. So here is 1, here is 2, here is 3, here is 2, here is 1. So it is working 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 4 3. Awesome, but still it is not updating. So to if you want to render these changes on your page, you have to use something. And what is that? That is actually import React. Sorry, not like this. React from React. Awesome. And you have to import, say useState like this. You have to import useState. So here is your useState. Oh, sorry, I think we don't need this React as of now, but let's keep it as it is, no problem. So we are going to use useState. So what I'm going to do here, if you focus to this program, if this count variable change, I have to update this DOM, means HTML part, as well as in display. So I'm not going to declare this variable in this way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say constant. Here I will say My variable name is count, and let's consider any method. Let's say set count is my method, and then I will say use state and apply any default value. Let's say 0 is one and the same thing. This declaration and this declaration is same. So instead of saying count is equal to count plus num, simply say set count. Set count is equal to count plus number, whatever number is there. And let's try this program. So if you see 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. So this way useState works. It help us to render our DOM automatically in virtual memory and then in browser DOM. Awesome. Guys, what will happen? This is my home page, right? In home, we are adding this display component. What if the display is also having one more child? Means home, then display, and display is having one more child. Let's say one more. Let's create one more folder and say uh, big display. Okay, and add one more file. Say index.js. And in that, try something, guys. How constant big display is a function which is containing count as a parameter, and in body is going to return some kind of HTML stuff. Oh God, here say h1, and here I'm going to say count and say big display, display colon, and like this. Awesome. So what I said, display is not direct child to the index. Oh, sorry, home. It will become the child of display. So let's here also mention export default and say big display. Awesome. So inside display, just go in inside display and try to import that component. Say import big display. So if you get this name over here, simply press enter. It will automatically add that. No need to write everything over here. And after this display, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add that big display class like this, and I want to pass that count. So let's say count is equal to count in this way. So guys, here it is showing some error. You know why? Because in return there must be a root, one tag, only one tag. If you go here, it is only one tag. If you go here, it is also containing one parent class one. You can't add neighbor or like another tag after this. If you add this kind of stuff, it will not allow. So what we have to do here, say this, and what we have to do here, not here, over here, I have to wrap everything in something. So best way, either you can go for app div, or the second approach is add react.fragment. So in next session, I'm going to take react.fragment, but as of now, just remember that in return, there must be only one root tag, and inside that you can add multiple tags. That's it. So let's try this. So this is the part of same page, means home. This is the child component from home page, display, and this is like in type of multiple inheritance. This is a child of display component. So it is not direct child of our home page. So let's try this. Refresh our page. So we have by default 0, 0, 0, -1, -2, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you know, if you understand this, useState automatically render its child component. Even if child component contain another child component, even if this component contain another child component, will automatically update that variable everywhere. And that is the magic of useState. So that's the better part. It's not it's not that complicated as in Angular. You have to write subject observable, behavioral observable. No need to go in that detail. simply focus to this word use state. Okay, so let's copy this keyword from here and go over here. Just try to, I don't think so, use state in W3 schools. Yeah. So here state, just go through this introduction part. If you see when the state object change, the component re-renders, automatically re-renders automatically. So here is few example, but it's not like that. It is, they are using basically class approach. Oh my God, where is use state? Use state. No, no, guys, don't follow this. Don't follow this. This is older approach actually. This is very complicated. Okay. So just go. Sorry, not state. I have to find use state. React hooks tutorials. Simply say use state, and you will find some documentation in React itself. Here it is. This is perfect. So what they did, same example, right? Use count. And here also the same way. If you go down, set state, this is different, but yeah, this way use state. No need to use React. So if you see button text and set button text, you can use any name over here, but remember, whatever the function name you are going to give here, you have to use every time in a function call. That's it. That's the only difference that we have. So as if you see here, let's try something like index.css. So say if h1 color is equal to red, save. So if you see here, I added this CSS in home, but my h1 is in big display here. But what happened? I actually big display is the child component to home, not direct, but indirect. It is somehow like the child component, right? So still it is applying this CSS. Oh my God. Thank you. So it is automatically applying this style to that component. So this is all about today, and we learned so many things today. Actually, what you learn create component by folder name and add index. No need to create files. That is our first approach. Second thing, we learned that how to use style. If we apply style over here, how to import in component. Third thing, we learned that uh, how to add events over here, either this approach or directly you can write over there uh, in directly over there, somehow like inline function like that, or you can call that function. You can't directly call. You have, if function contains any actual parameters, you have to call in this way. That is one more difference, and I explain you what is useState, how to import it, how to write with a simple example and with nested example. So that's it about today. Uh, we have almost 8 minutes left. Okay, we have questions. Ganesh, can you please stop recording so I can take questions?